Scott Thornton took a lot of hits over his 18-year NHL career. Now he's part of a new study by Baycrest Health Services looking at the long-term impact that playing professional hockey can have on the brain. 33 retired NHL players ranging in age from 34 to 71 years old took a series of tests. Researchers found that 59% experienced some psychiatric disorders. Those disorders include depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. We spoke earlier with Scott to discuss the study and his own experiences. He says concussions aren't just a concern for the NHL's heavy hitters.
Of all the fights that I had in my career, including junior hockey and that, I can only say that there was once where I think that I got concussed from a punch. Most of them were either whiplash hits to the chest or little elbows to the chin or the side of the head, just in puck scrums, and not even, severe body checks. Sometimes they're just little, corner work and things like that. So it isn't just a tough guy, fighter's issue right now. It's league wide. But later on in my career, the symptoms, I guess, would linger longer and longer, and it was really a lot harder to kind of shake those things off, even if they were real light hits.
And what were some of those symptoms later on?
I had, 1 year in San Jose where I had sort of three little hits or little concussions, all within about 10 days. And to credit to the San Jose team, they sat me out the rest of the season. I missed 41 games that year, the remainder of the season. And you're very sensitive to light, to noise. So you kind of lock yourself in your bedroom most often. I had two young kids that I had a hard time, being around just the busy household. Any rapid eye movements, so driving your car, would set off severe migraine headaches and nausea and fatigue too. You would sleep. Your brain's trying to heal, so you would sleep 18 hours a day, just trying to recover from that. And you take your kids to school in the morning, and by the time you get home from that school drop off, you'd need like 4 hours of sleep on the couch to try to recover from that. So it was quite some time. And it was a few years later that Sidney Crosby went through his ordeal, which lasted, about 2 seasons for him. And I think it was good for the league and especially the players that weren't stars to see somebody kind of to go through that that time away and see that he's come back strong and healthy and successful again. I think it could be a template for how everybody should be handling these things.
Now, it's good to hear that you say that you feel relatively healthy today, but are there concerns that you have, maybe around memory or anything like that? Yeah,
I try to manage, I guess, the best I can, and I've done things. I've changed my lifestyle quite a bit in order to kind of help in these things. So my sleep patterns are very important to me. If I'm not sleeping on a regular basis and start to get fatigued, then that's when sort of memory, short-term memory kind of is a struggle, as well as, sometimes just naturally trying to find words in conversation that, that should come a lot easier. These are things that when my sleep and my nutrition is on point, when I'm exercising and doing all the right things, I feel way healthier, a lot brighter, and more alert than if I'm not doing those things. So I've found ways in my own life to cope and hopefully to heal, and if not, just limit losses, I guess, as we get older.
What would you like to see the NHL do in light of studies like this?
Studies like this, I think, are probably, an independent thing. Organizations that are non-biased, I think, that have to do this and shed light. I know the league has taken steps. I know the protocol with concussion has improved quite a bit. Awareness. They have spotters in the stands now that I guess that are, trying to pick these out. So, whether the player doesn't say anything or the trainers don't say anything or goes unnoticed, these guys are meant to override that decision, I guess. For me, the biggest issue, I think, is that the decisions can't be in the players' hands, because we come from an era and a generation where we're supposed to be tough, and there's pride in playing injured, and that's how you gain respect. And so when other players and coaches come to you and ask you if you can play, most guys are going to say yes. I mean, we play through, MCL tears in our knees and broken ribs and hands and fractured feet, and guys are out there playing hurt and really banged up all the time. And it's a bravado thing for sure, but it is the way we were born and raised. And head trauma is something that's a little bit different. And I'm realizing that as I get older and we learn more about this, that it isn't something you can just kind of shake off and get out there and play with. And management and trainers have to step up and say, no, this isn't right. This kid can't play.